Hello everyone, how's everyone going? So today is a very special day. So today we have a very special guest in our podcast. Today we have Staff Sergeant Rodney Nance. Staff Sergeant Nance, he was born in Pensacola, Florida. He was raised in a small town called Brenton in Alabama. So now we're gonna go through his story, and then he enlisted in the active duty back in 2013 as information technology specialist. That was back in 2013. So today he's actually stationed in Anaheim, California. He works for the active duty recruiting team in Anaheim, California. California. So, no further ado. So we're gonna say hi to Top Sawyer and Rodney Nance. Hey, how's it going, man?
Up, sir. How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, first of all, thank you. A big privilege. Like I was talking to you, having you in the podcast. I know that I was focusing the podcast in Spanish, but now we're gonna start transitioning in English and opening to all the leaders in the army. How's everything?
Pretty good. I can't complain. Out here enjoying this Cali weather right now. So
Yeah, so I bet like it is super like chill, and I think it's warm right there, right?
yeah, well, right now it's about 52 outside, but for the most part, yeah, it's been warm.
Yeah, so right now here I'm in Virginia, it's 44 degrees, and it is crazy because Virginia weather can go up and down like out of nowhere. So we were like the other day 20, and then now we're like 60s, and it goes up and down. But it's great, man, to see you.
Yeah, you too, sir. You too.
So a little bit for our story. Nance and I we met back in Hawaii. We're gonna get to there throughout the story, which is great. And I like how soldiers keep doing great things in the army. And I want to show everyone like where you came from, how you enlisted, where you at right now, so you can actually talk to the audience that can listen to this podcast. So let's start from the beginning. So talk to us like who is Tassai Nance? Let's go.
Okay. So I'm just a small town kid. Like you said, I'm from Brenton, Alabama. I was born in Pensacola, raised in Alabama. All through school, like I thought that I wanted to do one thing, and that was being a veterinarian.
Okay.
Um, got to high school and realized like, yo, it's gonna be a lot more than what I thought. Like you need money to go to college,
Uh-huh.
these scholarships or whatever it may be. And you got to really plan it out. And I had no plan.
So,
So
so back then in Alabama, when you were growing up, like, what was driving you to be a veterinarian? Like, you actually like, like pets and everything, or what's the
yeah,
drive in that moment?
nope, it was mainly just like the animals that I had, dogs, cats, whatever it may be.
Uh-huh.
Um, and what was it? I met this guy. He's like my mentor now.
Okay.
Really good guy. That was he was a Navy first sergeant,
Okay.
or what they call him in the Navy, like a master chief or whatever. Um, he actually guided me. He had horses, so like it was like either doing veterinarian or like I seen how he was in the military as well. So
So you
that's
got a little bit of influence from somebody that was in the system already, and that made you actually uh gear towards the army or the armed forces. So you mentioned something that you were trying to look for like to be a veterinarian, but then you hit a wall saying like, hey, if I want to do this, then I have to pay, and therefore maybe I don't have the money. So talk to us about that transition when you find that out, and then like when you start researching about the army, etc.
yeah. So what was it? I want to say it was like 12th grade year, 11th grade year. No, yeah, 12th grade. I didn't do any applications for college, nothing.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't really pay attention to school during that time, I guess,
Wow. Okay.
about the applications and how to start with the enrollment for college and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was stuck. Like it was close to graduation.
Hmm.
Um, I knew that this guy was in the Navy, and that he was doing well for himself. Um, I think what really drove me was that, and then we had recruiters come into our school.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, it was Marine recruiters actually that came.
Okay.
Never seen an Army recruiter at the school, but it was
Oh.
a Marine recruiter. Yeah, they came in and was talking to us about all the great benefits.
Mhm.
So that's what piqued my interest into doing research. Um,
Yeah, so
yeah,
so in that moment, so you're like, hey, you saw the Marines. I think they used like the recruiting tactics. They went with the uniform, like super, like
100%.
yeah. You have to serve the country because we're talking about 2012 at that time, right?
Yep,
So when the war was like heated, like in that time, the war was going on at it.
yep.
I think that not a lot of people was thinking to join the armed forces. So some people will see it as an honor, and I think the what you're talking right now is like, hey, I'm the Marine. I have all these ribbons and uniform, and that drove your interest. Your interest in arms.
100%. That's exactly what it was. He came in, he talked to us, and he made it seem like it was a great time.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I remember our quarterback. I played football, but our quarterback, he said something off like crazy. He asked him if he ever hurt anyone or like, done something crazy. And the dude looked at him and he was like, I will throat punch you if you ever ask me anything like that again. So
Wow.
I want to be like that dude when I grow up.
That's insane. And then like so seeing those type of experiences in high school, it is like you mentioned now for people that are listening right now. So Simon Nance, he works in the recruiting station and in Anaheim, right? So that's what you do right now.
Or I live in Anaheim. I work in Moreno Valley. It's
Uh,
over in Riverside.
Okay. But now you mentioned that you did not see any army recruiters and then you saw the Marines. But however, so what drive you to actually select the army over Marines? So looking into your research and etc.
Um, I realized that the opportunities, like picking your own job, stuff like that, that was around back then. I got to pick the job that I wanted. Um, there was also like duty station of choice, a couple of other jobs. And I want to say I went and talked to every recruiter. So I went to
Hmm.
the Air Force, talked to them. They were like, yeah, it'll be a year before we can get you out of here. I was trying to leave ASAP.
Hmm.
Went and talked to the Navy. They said 6 months. The Marines, I went and talked to them and I was like, oh yeah, I want to do this. But it just seemed off. So he told me, what was it? He said that there was like I didn't get to pick my job. I had already talked to the Army and they told me that I could pick my job, but he told me that
Oh, okay.
it was based off of like a selection or you had to do well on the ASVAB and then where you fell on the chart pretty
On the
much
RML, on the RML.
for the job, I believe.
Yeah.
So
So it was a very convoluted situation that you're like, okay, if I go Marines, I have to do all this versus in the army, they let me select the job right away. So that's basically what drove you to actually do it, go to the army at that moment.
100%, yeah. So
Yeah, because like it's good that you mentioned that you did your due diligence and actually went and asked all the recruiters. You didn't, although the Marines were in their high school, right? You didn't go straight to the Marines. No offense to the Marines. We're talking about what Sundance, right? And then went and selected the army. So once you started to talk to the army recruiters, at what time was that? It was like like a your senior year or after
yeah.
senior year, and then like how was the ASVAB process in that moment? Just talk to us about that situation and talk to your side of the version.
Okay, so the process was pretty simple. Went and talked to a recruiter. I want to say my grandma took me to the recruiting station. Um, he had me take a practice test. I want to say like I couldn't get the 50 on the practice test. Like kept trying to get the 50, couldn't get it. Um, so he was like, we'll just send you down to MEPS.
Mhm.
They sent me down to MEPS. I ended up passing. Came back and he pretty much was like, "Here are your jobs." I already knew which job I wanted. I wanted to go infantry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know from infantry to IT, but I had my grandma with me, which is funny, because she was in the military as well, and she was like, "No, you're
Uh,
not for that. You're gonna pick this job." So she, um, so yeah, she
so
picked that.
it is funny. So you were committed to actually just do the infantry.
Up.
What was that? Why is that?
I have no idea. I think it's like something that every great young man or woman wants to do, like just to go out and be infantry. Like that's all we see in the movies is go.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're getting it. That I think that's what I was getting at. Like I think the influence
Yep.
of like the media and the movies, and I just want to be a badass like
Right.
Rambo.
That's it. And then like I want to say my recruiter was infantry as well. So
Okay.
he was hyping it up big time.
He was very biased to tell you like, I'm not gonna say anything, but you should go infantry.
100%. So
But then your old grandma is like, no, like, nah, you're not doing that.
yeah. And she was like I want to say she was like a 92 whiskey,
Okay.
like the water
Water
purification.
ducks? Yeah, water ducks.
So I was just like, all right, I love her. She
Nah.
sent me, and she talked to him,
Uh,
came back, and he was like, I got this job for you right here. Showed me the little video, and I was like, all right, that's kind of cool, I guess.
so now the question is, will you regret that decision at this point? Like talking now.
Not one bit. Not one bit. So
Okay.
no hate to my infantry people, but like
Yeah.
the army has been very good to me, like with the duty locations that I've been at, the places I've gotten to go. So not one bit.
Yeah, so this is something I speak in my podcast, mostly in Spanish, but now I'm gonna say it here. So the army is not only like infantry. Like the army, people have the tendency that thinks that the army is just infantry and that's it. There's a plethora of jobs in the army that you can select. Sometimes, like again, people get influenced by the media and what they see in the movie, etc. But when you start getting into it, and you can get this farther when we start continuing the interview, there's plenty of jobs. This is just a big organization. Like you have communications, you have logistics, you have the infantry dudes, right? You have, you name it, MI, military intelligence, right?
Yep.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. So okay, so your grandma said like, hell no, that you're not going to be an infantry
Not a,
dude.
yep. Not
So okay, so you took the ASVAB, and then what? What happened afterwards?
Sat down with the recruiter, picked my job, which was IT. And he sent me down to MEPS. I did everything with MEPS, the physical, everything. I want to say I phys came back. I had got into some trouble at home,
Mm,
um, driving without a driver's license at the time, and
okay.
that delayed my process because I had to go to court and pay off the ticket or
Okay.
whatever. But came back to the recruiting station after all of that was taken care of,
Mhm.
and he got me the same job, 25 Bravo. So
Yeah,
um,
the 25
after
Bravo.
after that, I was ready to go. So
Can you explain like what a 25 Bravo is for the people that
yes,
don't know?
yes, IT information technology specialist.
Mhm.
Um, Pretty much all we do is work on computers, printers, like satellites. I was working with what we call in a SASMO shop.
Mhm.
So we work on like the small gator balls and stuff like that, which pretty much help get internet connection to the computers. Um, what else? Yeah, anything with technology we work on and fix. And
So I think the following question: Do you need to be a technology savvy to actually do this?
I did not know anything about computers. Like, uh, nothing about computers, nothing about working on the network, none of that. I went to my AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training.
Mhm.
It's like a school. It was 5 months, and yeah, it was like 5, almost 6 months.
Mhm.
I did that, and they taught me everything that I needed to know.
Yeah. Okay. So and then now you mentioned that. So we just stopped in your ASVAB. So you took the ASVAB. 25 Bravo, you have some situations back home, fix those situations with the driver license, etc. No issues through maps, I'm assuming, right? So then raise your right hand, and then what? So what's next after you raise your right hand? I think you're going through basic. So talk to us about basic and that change from being a high schooler going through basic now.
100%. So went to MEPS for the second time. You do it again and like do the whole process that you did the first time, so, or the enlistment process again. Um, I did that, and then they shipped us off by bus to South Carolina.
Mhm.
Uh, got there at like 12 o'clock at night, and it was freezing cold. It was December 29th that I got there, December 30th.
Mhm.
Um, got off the bus and they had us waiting there. Um, yeah, and I think everyone can agree on or agree with me when they were like, yeah, like, what did I get myself into? The one thing that was going through my head, like, did I make the right decision? And yeah, it was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Um, went to, we ended up doing what's called reception,
Okay.
um, which is where you get like do all the paperwork, get all your clothing,
Mhm.
uniforms, all of that stuff. Um, did that. I think that lasted like a week, and then January 7th was like when I was actually starting basic training.
Basic
Getting
training.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like any being afraid to the drill sergeants, like the unexpected, like you saw those hats going around, like screaming at people.
Oh yeah,
Let's talk about that experience. It's like choking. It's like shock experience. Like, oh my god, what the? Mm.
it was a huge change of pace from there. Um, we were on the bus going to basic training. We got on the bus. This drill sergeant with this big round brown hat hops on the bus, and he's like, "I want everyone to put their face in the bag and don't breathe. Don't let me see you looking at me." And I think that's like the moment when like my heart dropped. Like, oh, it's over with. Like, this is where I messed up, and that was January 7th. Like, reception, it seemed like it was a breeze. Like, it wasn't that much like, oh, do push-ups, or they weren't talking crazy or nothing. It seemed like it was gonna be a good time. And then this dude gets on and he, shout out to the drill sergeants. They have a role to play, and it's a very vital role.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just like, man, I done messed up.
No, I mean, we as a leaders, we understand there's the drill sergeant jobs now, right? So we understand what they're doing. But when you're like a simple private that you don't know anything and your head is running like 100 miles per hour, you're like, I don't know what I'm
Area
doing.
going on. The wheels were most definitely spinning up there. Like I was like, oh shit. Yo.
Yeah, but
Yo.
I mean, but now looking back, will you regret that situation, that moment?
Not at all, man. Basic was probably like I have so many memories. I've been in 10 years and I still can remember like almost I remember drill sergeant McFarland. I remember some of my battle buddies that like I went to basic with, like Kimbrough and um who else was it? Kimbrough. There was dang, I said I remember and now I can't even call them off, but I most definitely like can
Yeah,
see the faces in my head right now. So
yeah. So and now, like, okay, so basic is a holistic experience, right, for anyone that they'll
yeah,
go and again, like it is part of the indoctrination process, right? So we need to well, the army has to teach the new recruiters or recruiting soldiers the prop at that point now they're warriors to actually how to conduct business, like uniform marching drills, shooting, so that's what they do, and it's a lot of doing it right now, right?
yep. So a lot of teamwork
Mhm.
because coming straight in, you're an individual, right? Tell people this all the time. Coming in, you're you, you're yourself. the drill sergeant's job is to break you down and build you up as a soldier at the end of the day. They want you to work as a team.
Yep.
So that's why you have like all of the confidence courses. They're going to have you do like everything with your battle buddy, right? That's what they call it, or the warrior companion.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna put as a photo on the screen. I think this is your photo from basic. Talk about this photo here on the screen.
That's me. We were at the rank, or we were learning how to like shoot, move, and communicate. They call it, I guess. If I'm correct, yeah, we were just knocking down targets, getting used to the weapon at that time. So
Yeah, and then like although I mentioned that the army has a plethora of jobs, in this case, you signed in as an IT specialist or information technologies. Um, we all have to learn how to shoot, move, and communicate. We have to learn how about teamwork. We have to learn about drills. We have to learn how to, right? I'm correct with my what I'm telling.
100. Yeah, you need to learn all of that stuff because the basic guideline of being a soldier is going to be always be like infantry. You don't want to be the one like, of course, you're not running out for like action or anything, but you don't want to be the one not knowing what to do in case something happens, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because we will support, like for example, I'm a logistics officer. I'm supporting the fight, and you and your role when you're on the fight, you are doing communications and other roles to continue the fight flowing. When we see the whole diagram, we're supporting the fight forward, so that's why we have to all be synchronized at the same time and go forward. So that's why we get taught all this as a infantry. We all infantry at the end. Let's move on to the AIT. So, how was that transition from being all this crazy in a drill sergeant from AIT and the shocking and the culture now to Fort Gordon at the time, but now for Howard now. So, talk to us like that transition from basic to AIT.
man, it was a huge shock at the time because we didn't have drill sergeants then.
Hmm.
We only had what was it, like instructors and the platoon sergeants then. So like going from everything is like dress right dress, you know, to a bit more relaxed environment. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We had like our weekends off there. We were able to go out into Augusta, go to like the mall after you got your phase 5 badge,
Hmm.
which is you doing like a small board or whatever it was at the time, um, and stuff like that. So,
So
um,
what was your regular duties like your regular day? Like you wake up PT and then just go to
wake up
classes.
PT and then go to class. We did like networking class. We did like an introduction to IT. They taught us how to make what is it, IP addresses and stuff like that. So yeah, it was that was pretty much the basic. Uh, Wake up, do PT, go grab or go shower, grab breakfast, go to class, then go to lunch. After lunch, you go back to class for until 16 or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then after that you would go to chow, go get dinner.
Okay, so
So
everything was like very programmed. So you have your schedule like programmed for you, like you mentioned, right? Throughout AIT. But now at that time you went, there was no drill sergeants. Now the army came back with, it's like today's date. The army has drill sergeants back in AIT, right?
yep, they're back there. And they yeah, my brother is currently a drill sergeant there. Um and then I have a couple of friends that are there doing the drill at AIT as well.
NIT, yeah. So, yeah, we have a friend in common, Stop Sign Lopez. If she sees this, like, I say hi to her. I just met her, like, I met with her like yesterday because Stephanie's my wife cousin was graduating from MIT, and it's funny that this is a small army. Like we all get interconnected, like at one point, right?
100%. Super small army, super small.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to show you a picture on here on the screen real quick. Just talk to us. I think it's this one. So talk about
Okay.
this.
This was AIT graduation. The the man to my right there, that's my mentor, Pee Wee,
Okay.
that got me interested in the military. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yep, he came out to my AIT graduation.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, he is the person who actually was the one you mentioned earlier, right? So he was like actually giving you all the insights as a mentor.
Yep, yep, 100%.
Now, what will you be? What advice you will give to people or to soldiers if they're looking at the soldier and the system about mentorship? What advice you will give?
100%. Reach out and find a mentor, someone that can help you out with like just advice about life or career wise, career progression. Someone that's going to help motivate you, you know. That's something that we all need. So, like, someone that doesn't mind if you call them,
Hmm.
uh, if it's like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, just to get that advice. Those are things like you want to find you a mentor. You can move it. You can rank in the army and move up in the army. Um, but with a mentor, someone that's already down those, been that route that you're going down, like so many others, it's 100% gonna help you uh, just sail through. So
Yeah. So I keep harping on that this career, the army, is not for everyone. We have to say that not everyone is meant to be in the army. Some people get something out of the army, like nothing wrong
yep,
with that, right? So they'll sign in, they'll get what they need, and they'll get out, right?
yep,
So and nothing wrong with that. They'll do the 3 years contract, okay, man. But now, if you want to do this as a career, this is a you need to build those networking. That's what Sam Nance was saying. Have that person that can actually guide you through stuff, because sometimes we are missing. Like we just looking like just like into
yeah,
one
tunnel
lane,
vision.
a
Yep,
tunnel vision. But then people outside can actually say like, hey, there's more outside that you can actually do and experience about the army.
yep.
So
One,
yeah, so now AIT graduated. Now you're IT specially qualified by the army. Now, okay, so this is the other thing. So I will always advise to somebody, and this is you can say this as a recruiter, that if you're looking a job in the army, particularly to find something that translate to a civilian, right?
yeah,
Can
yep.
you actually speak about that? And I know because I'm saying about your IT position, right?
So that is one thing that's true. I try to talk to a lot of applicants that we have that just want to like go down the route that I was gonna take, right? Go infantry, look for all the action. Um, I actually try to advise them like, yo, the army is not always going to be there. Like at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, there might be a reason why you get out. It could be the medical issues. It could be because you're just tired of it. You need something that you're going to fall back on. The army can 100%. They paid for like all of the certs that I've been able to get.
Mhm.
Uh, no money out of pocket for me. Um, so yeah, you need something that you can fall back on, whether that be you doing 88 mic, which is truck driver, getting your CDL or whatever,
Mhm.
getting hazmat stuff like that, to doing IT, 35 series, the Intel series, them getting that top secret. A lot of companies are looking for people with top secrets,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah,
Yep. So again, nothing against infantry for those that are infantry. We're not saying that don't do infantry. Like if you like infantry, just go ahead and do it. Like
yeah,
I mean, we are in a support role for the infantry. That's what we meant to do. What we're trying to say that like always look for your what you can get out of the army, because like the army give us a structure, they give us leadership, they give us knowledge, they give us experiences that coming out of high school a lot of people don't have. Like if you coming out of high school, going to college, undergrad, going to your grad, and then you applying for a job for a $200,000 a year might not happen that quick,
yep,
because I can say that by experience. I've been in the army for 12 years now, and I gained so much experience that I can translate. But I'm doing the army because I like it. I love it. It's, I'm doing great, and thanks God. And then I'm gonna push forward, and I'm getting that as my personal experience. But I just want to make that note because IT can translate very like translate to the civilian sector.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, and then now you finish AIT, and then what's next? Like, okay, so AIT, and then you go to orders. Do you know where you were going after AIT? You have it set in
Yeah.
stone.
Uh, so my next place was Hawaii.
Mhm.
Um, Never been on a plane before. I was able to go to Hawaii.
Wow.
Yep,
So,
first time on a plane was going to Hawaii.
so talk
So
about that experience. So talk about your experience with the plane.
I was excited. Like never seen myself doing. I'm a small kid from Alabama.
Uh huh.
The army had already gave me the culture shock of meeting like different people. Like I'm from like a very, very small
Small
town,
town.
maybe 5,000,
Oh wow.
um, big culture shock joining. So like being able to go on a plane and go to a different state, like not by car was pretty big to me. Like how old was I? I was 20 on my way to Hawaii. So yeah.
Yeah, it is insane just because just to have a content. So Staff Sergeant Nance and I we met in Hawaii. I was a brand new second lieutenant when I met Sergeant Nance. It was my first duty station. But just you mentioned Hawaii when I was in Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico, from the island of Puerto Rico, which is a you know territory from the United States. But what I wanted to say is, for in my mind, when I was growing up, Hawaii for me it was like a rich people island. I thought Hawaii was for rich people only. Like never been into Hawaii. Like you know
Never thought I was gonna go to Hawaii.
what I mean?
Especially as a first duty station. Like somebody was looking out for me.
Yeah, that's great. It's like that's very awesome. So this small kid from Alabama going to Hawaii. So how was that culture again? Another culture shock, right? So talk about that once you get to Alabama. I'm sorry, Hawaii, and what was the process going to Hawaii?
It was getting to Hawaii, and of course you go through the in processing there, which is what's it called? I can't remember what they call the unit there, but you in process there. It's like 2 weeks long. They do all your paperwork once again. Make sure you get to your unit. You find out where you're going. I want to say like the first weekend I was out and about. So my first weekend in Hawaii was what was the name of it? We ended up at some place. I'm a private at this place called Play Bar or something like that.
Ah, Playboy in Waikiki.
Yeah, yep, down in Waikiki.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, never thought that I would, like I said, be there. Um, but everything after was smooth. Ended up getting to my unit, meeting a lot of great people that I was stationed with and have had the privilege to work with. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so
And then I have a picture here. Talked about this picture.
yeah, so this was outside of the bowling alley there, on Schofield Barracks. We got Sergeant First Class King over there. We got CW2 retired, Green right there in the middle. Sergeant Werther in the back, behind us two. Um, let's see, Estes, he got out. Sergeant First Class Garcia in the middle, right there.
I remember
The
him.
short man, yeah, he was pops. He ended up retiring. Then we got Dunmore right there. She's in I want to say Texas right now recruiting as well. Then of course myself. That's the old S4 behind Dunmore, and then Captain Lee
Yep.
in that back left corner, and then Montague with his eyes closed. So
Yeah.
we had there went bowling as a team. So this was when Sergeant Garcia was taking over. Um, then it was Sergeant First Class Green.
Yep.
Uh,
So
yeah,
it's something that you mentioned before that the army exposed you to different cultures and etc. In that picture only, you can see there was a different like cultures everywhere.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You
So,
can see Asian, Latinos, black people, black
yeah,
folks. You can see white. Like it doesn't matter. We are all doing one mission, right?
one huge melting pot. Yeah. So everyone's doing the mission, getting after it.
Yeah, like that's what it's all about it, and it's great that you can share that, like coming out of Alabama, coming to Hawaii, and then like continuing throughout. But yeah, man. So Hawaii in that time it was the 25th STB. It was STB. I can't remember right now. They 45th Sustainment Brigade, 45th, and then repatched to 25th ID or Sustainment Brigade in that moment. We're part of this history when that happened.
Yep.
Now, so you were in Hawaii. No, not only they took you from Alabama to Hawaii. So after Hawaii, what's next? So you went into the Middle East. Middle East. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I went to Kuwait, and once again, I thought it was gonna be like the movies. Um, thought I was gonna go over there and get blown up and all of this and that, and the whole time we were on Beering. It's when they tell you that it's like a hair dryer blowing in your face. Like nobody is lying about that. Like we got off the plane and it was like instant heat, and
Like
it's like
just like 120, like blowing with the wind.
crazy. And I was like, man, this is not it. This place is hot. Um, we got there, and I want to say like maybe a week of being there, the temperature dropped. So me being from Alabama and not doing my research right, I was like, oh, we're going to a desert. It's gonna be hot there. Like, it's no need for me to bring
So
long
yeah.
winter PTs. You know what? After the temperature dropped, it dropped to like 20 something. So I was over there for like the first 2 days. Yeah, I need to go get some PTs because um I'll never get
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah. So the desert is like something unique, right? So it can go up and down, like
yeah,
out of nowhere.
I
But
don't
that yeah, it happens a lot in during like winter time that it can go up and down, and over
yeah,
spring that can go like 120, and then when you're in summer, like 120 and plus, and then wing, and then we have all that.
yeah.
Um, so talk to about this photo right here.
Yeah, so this was what was this in? This was in like I want to say the theater in Camp Buring, the movie theater. I think we had just finished up a class. Um yeah, and they were wanting to take pictures of people that were there, so they took my picture.
Nice. In the movie theater in Hawaii. So I'm sorry, Kuwait. So the people they say that Kuwait is not a deployment. How you feel about that?
Nah, it was a little chill, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to worry about anything over there. So it was like it was all right. I got to go off post with a couple of people like Sergeant First Class Allen or Simone.
Simone, yeah.
We
Remember?
went off yeah, went off post a lot to go to AJ. So he was always bringing me along with him.
Yeah, that's yeah. I went to Kuwait and Bahrain, and it's a good experience, but like it
Yeah,
feels like you are in a post, like let's say on the US, but like in the middle of the desert with all the heat, basically.
yeah,
Now we can say that we were doing our mission. Like we were not just
yeah.
chilling because like
I mean,
you work hard
yep,
regardless.
100%. So you work hard over there. Um, and then most of the time it's like you have to walk to where you get to, which isn't an issue. Like, but you do work and you walk and it's hot outside and you know what I'm saying? You're in the Connex, pulling stuff out of the Connex at times. And yeah, you do work over there.
Yeah, I remember I bought a bicycle when I was in Buring because like the walk distance was like so long that you're like, okay, so I'll need to get in a bicycle.
Right.
And then I'm gonna show you this other picture. I know you mentioned that your brother before, so talk about this picture right here.
Yeah, so this is my little brother, Sergeant First Class Brought, and he's a drill sergeant out at Fort Lee right now. Um, he's at 88 November. We met up in Iraq, so I got the opportunity to go up to Taji. helped him up there for a little bit. So yeah, he was I want to say he was a corporal in that picture.
Okay,
Um, met
nice.
up met up in Taji. So
So it's pretty good that even though like so your brother joined after you joined, I
uh,
assume.
he left before I left. So
Okay,
he left May or June 2013, and I ended up leaving December of 2013. So we got like a 8 month gap in between us, something like that.
and then
Seven.
like any coordination prior to you guys like, hey, I'm doing this, you're doing that, or it's
Oh,
like happens.
not at all. Um, we were talking, and he was like, "Hey, I know you're over in Kuwait right now. I'm actually going to, um, I'm going to." My daughter's in the
No,
background, right?
it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, she's funny. He told me that he was going to Iraq, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. You know, I see what I can do." Talked to Sergeant Garcia, and he was like, "Yeah, let's get you over there. See if you can help out the mission in some way while you're there." So he, him, and I want to say it was Colonel Loxton. All of those guys were great then. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, I remember all of them, and they're great soldiers and great teammates. I remember all of them. And now, so you just came back from the deployment, and then what's next? Like, you PCS right away, or you spend a little bit more time in Schofield and then PCS?
yeah, I spent a little bit more time in Schofield. What was it? We got back 2016. Um, Came back. Ended up meeting my now wife there. So met her. We ended up getting married, and then after that, I ended up PCSing. I PCSed to Fort Campbell after that. She had to stay in Hawaii to do her time there. Um, but yeah, they ended up moving her over on a what is it, compassionate
Okay,
reassignment.
okay, got it.
They moved her to Campbell with me, so we were at Campbell. We moved to Campbell after that.
Okay, so now you mentioned a terminology out here, compassionate reassignment. So for those that doesn't know, for especially soldiers, so what is that?
It's pretty much uh the army recognizes your need, or like you like being together. You know, they place you within so many miles of each other,
Mhm.
of y'all at a duty station,
Gotcha.
within 50 miles, something like that. Let's say you have like a sick family member or something, and you need to go home. The army will look for a place that's close by where you're trying to go. And if you get approved for that, then they'll send you
Got it.
to, yeah, they'll send you there. Whether it be like, um, let's say your mom is sick, and or your family member, you have a family member that's sick in Riverside and needs your support, right? Um Riverside, California, they have a college there. Um so if you fulfill a slot at you can fulfill a slot at the college as like a ROTC member. I forget the terminology or what they call them, but you can go there and like work at the ROTC, or
Okay.
they'll find
Yeah.
a place for you up there, you know.
Yeah, there's some jobs available that Army can actually take in consideration if you have to do a compassionate reassignment. In this case, ROTC they have all the other stuff. There's no regular Army. There's more positions and people can actually look. For more information, just contact your S1 or your HR representative if you are this kind of situation. But in your case, and we just like talking about you, your wife has to apply for that because she was a dual. She was a military, that's what active duty military. So that's why she had to do that.
Yeah, and shout out to Sergeant Major Tucker.
Okay.
At
Yep.
the time, she helped my wife get through that process, and
Nice.
um, was able to pull whatever strings that she had, so that my wife could move. So
That's great to hear. Like I said, like going back to the networking and do your job. If you do your job and you perform well in this career, people is gonna look at you, like look for you. You know what I mean? So this is all about it. Like we're gonna take care of one each other regardless. And now PCS, your wife was able to actually move from Hawaii to Fort Campbell. Fort Campbell is in Kentucky, for those doesn't know. Now I'm gonna show you a picture. This is you in Vegas with her. This one, right?
yeah, we went on a little vacation to Vegas. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So that's one of the seven, what is it, seven mountains, I think it's called, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we go there, every time we go to Vegas, we stop there. So
It's a
yeah,
great memory.
yeah,
Bring back great memories. Once you get there, basically.
100%.
Yep. And then okay, so what was your job? So transition from Scofield to Campbell. So where do you do your time in which unit in Campbell? And what was your job in Campbell on that time?
So I bounced around. I went from 1327 infantry, what was it? The infantry regiment
Mhm.
battalion. I was there for a little while working at the battalion S6.
Mhm.
And then I went to the 426 BSSB or BSB, which is like a brigade support
Also the
battalion.
battalion. Mhm.
Yeah, yep. And I worked in SPO up there in the SASMO. So I went from working at a S6 to working with the SPO.
With this
So
bow. Yeah. And then what was your main role in the SASMO? Or what is SASMO for those that are wondering what SASMO is? Or in simple term. I know it's complex, but if you can explain.
it's what is it? Sustain, automate, or support automation, sustain, um maintenance office,
Okay.
something like that. So it's like you pretty much just support the systems that go out to the field so that they can have network or internet.
Yeah, so we have the army has, not we, but the army has their own systems. Let's simulate to the civilian now, like Starlink. So it's similar to Starlink. They operates out of like satellites, right? Like Tesla and not Tesla, but like X and all that stuff, SpaceX. The army has something similar. They have their own network. They work
Yep.
out satellites in a closed network, open. They have the VSAT, right, which is the antenna.
Yep.
The small aperture something VSAT.
Yeah. Very small aperture
Aperture,
terminal.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the SASMO is the personnel that actually helps to maintenance that
Yep.
system. So the big takeaway is like when we go out to like austere environments and we don't have like access to the internet, we have this closed network and we can get say hi to baby out there. I like her headphones. Say hi. Hello.
Collaborate.
Yeah.
Everyone.
She's beautiful. God bless her. So yeah, so the VSAT is basically provides network, and then we can actually have internet on the field or austere environment, and that's why you were providing SASMO at the time.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I first got there, it was the infantry battalion. So that was a lot of fun. Ripping and running with those guys. Had really, like, I can say in my career that I've been really blessed with like the leadership that I've had. Like I'll never I don't have any, from my personal experience, like have had bad leaders.
Mhm.
You do see stuff like that, but I, from my personal experience, have not had
Yeah, yeah,
bad
and it's good to hear you mention like again like you will encounter some bad apples anywhere, not only in
Yep.
the army. I'm talking
Not
about as
only
a in the general, right? So we have a great leaders. In my personal experience, I had my great leaders that I can look to that person. I was like, damn, like this guy inspired me so much. Like I can look through him or to her, to whatever case may be, and I can replicate what they're doing. In the other
yep,
hand, on the other spectrum, we have some leaders that you could look at them and you're like, dude, like I don't know,
gotta
like I
get it
can,
together.
yeah.
Gotta get it together. So yeah, went out there with the 1327. I went to JRTC with them. They were spinning up to deploy. They were going to Syria
Mhm.
and a couple more places, but my wife was pregnant at the time.
Okay.
Um, and like I said, one of my sergeant first class at the time, He was like, "Hey, I know that you're about to have a kid. You have this opportunity to go on this deployment, or we can switch you over battalions." And I was
Gotcha.
like, "Well, I want to go on the deployment, but I also want to
Yeah.
be there for the birth of my child."
Nice.
Um, he talked to me. And he gave me his advice about how I should most definitely be there for the first,
Yeah. Got it.
firstborn.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty. That's great to hear. I'm glad I'm hearing this. That they
yeah,
actually allow you to actually have your firstborn, which is a very important in your personal life.
yep,
I don't have a kid myself. I'm looking forward to, but it's great to hear those stories and that you can share this in a public forum that you can have leaders like that.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, pretty great leaders all throughout that I've encountered at least. Not saying that there aren't bad apples like you said, but from my experience, like him allowing me to like, yo, we have this deployment coming up. We would like you to go. We don't need you to go.
Mhm.
Like we can move you over. That way, you can have that time with your family. That opened my eyes to like, man, it's like really, really great people out here.
That's
So
great. That's great. And then I'm gonna show you this picture here. So
yeah,
just talk about this.
this is our not deployment. I'm crazy. This is our rotation to
Yeah,
JRTC.
just
So, this was 2018. This was a gang right here. A lot of cool cats here.
mhm.
I see our LT over there. She got out the army and she started her own little business and company that
Okay.
she's running. I believe out of Alabama.
Okay.
The person behind her was one of my soldiers, Tyree McLean. He's up in DC right now doing his thing with the White House, I believe, still.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of great people in this picture. Jacob's down at the bottom kneeling. I'm not sure where he is now. Kind of lost touch with him. Bloxburg beside LT. Um, where is he? I want to say he got out the army, but he just came back from Korea and got out. Then Amick, Bashir. I know Bashir in the middle. He went and did Ranger School, RAS.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I think he's with the Rangers now.
The
So
red ram, Resh with regiment, basically.
yeah, he's a regiment right now. I think
Hmm.
doing this. Um,
Cool.
the two females kneeling at the bottom. One is at Knox. She just got picked up for um warrant officer.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's a huge step as well in the career.
And then everyone else is moving along. NCOs now.
Yeah.
Um, the thing. So, and then yeah.
That's crazy. That's good that you can and you keep. Do you keep in touch with them? Like, do you have them on social media?
Yeah, I have him on social media. I try to keep in touch with him, reach out to him. I really try to reach out to anybody that I meet in my army career, because like you said, it's the military is about making those connections and networking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's pretty.
hey,
That's pretty
somebody might
awesome.
be my boss, I might see you around again.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, like we were joking about this. Like, I'm promoting. Thanks God. Like, next year I'll be pinning if everything goes well. And I was like, hey, finance, maybe we will be like, working back together. I'll be excel somewhere. Which we will talk about this. Like Mayor Toomey,
Yeah.
with Mayor Toomey, that's next in the couple pictures that he was a captain in Hawaii, and then now he was your boss in one-on-one, right? So we'll talk about that in a moment. But it's great. Now I have another picture to show you. I think this one. Just talk about this one.
Yeah, so this was we went up to support the National Guard with their what do they call it? Like their annual training.
Hmm.
Uh, went up to Minnesota to what was it? The infantry. It was one of the infantry brigades out there that we were supporting. They were giving us like downtime to like go and do like Black Hawk rides and uh C-130 rides and stuff like that, whatever it may have been. Um, yeah, it was pretty cool. This was one of the pictures that I had got after we got done uh, on the helicopter. So
Nice. And the helicopters like going out like look at you like this little kid from Alabama that never flew in an airplane now just getting rides in helicopters.
no, right? Like I've been in a few now, and it's like, dang, this is crazy. So
I have another picture here. You can speak to us about it.
okay, yeah, this is my SASMO team here. So you got Cleves, Incha, who's the one in the back, the very back. He's in school right now, finishing up. He's about to become a lieutenant.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Nice.
so you got let's see, Middleton, Robles, Taylor. She got out of the military. Broadnax, he's in Hawaii right now. Stevens is kneeling down with the box in his hand, the two boxes.
Uh-huh.
He's in Italy right now.
Oh, that's the life in Italy, huh? Blue.
Yeah, and he's Santos.
Nice.
So
It's
yeah,
pretty nice, man. Like again, we can see throughout your career that you being like keeping up with people and you know where they at. You know, it is amazing that how the army, you know, we can create all these connections. It doesn't matter like you've been mentioned and people are being getting out of the army. Nothing wrong with that. Like, okay,
yeah,
so
nothing at all. 100%.
yeah.
Taylor, she was one of my soldiers. She's doing her thing now. Um, she's in Memphis, living life. Um, who else got out of the army? Um, yeah, I can't remember who else. Estes from Hawaii, he got out. He works up in Sacramento right now, I
Okay.
believe, doing IT there. Like he's pulling in money doing the job that he has.
Mhm.
Um, I want to say it's like something with cybersecurity. So
Okay. And again, this goes back to my to one of my comments that he was translating all the experience and gain from the army and then put it in work on the civilian, right? So that's you can do that, right?
two contracts. He went to Hawaii and then to Fort Drum, New York, and he got out and now he's doing his thing. So
Nice. And then okay, so we're gonna transition to a deployment to Cuba. Wow, like
okay.
this talk about that. Like, okay, it is a few people I know in the army throughout my whole career, they've been in Cuba.
Yep.
Talk about that. Like that's the I wanna hear that.
So it was my team, or not team, but my battalion. After they moved me, I went to while they were on deployment. I went to Minnesota, did that. They ended up coming back from that deployment around like November, October timeframe.
Mhm.
And the Sergeant Major at the time was Sergeant Major Primus. Um, he came up to me during PT one time and he was like, "Hey, Sergeant Nance, have you ever been to an island before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was in Hawaii." Yeah, you can have some, baby. I was like, "Yeah, I was in Hawaii." You want me to open them? Can you grab a bowl? Um, I told him I was in Hawaii, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's good. You have experience with the island life. You're about to go to Cuba next year."
Wow.
So this was December, and I'm like thinking like, "Oh, okay, next year, like I got some time." What I didn't understand was that he was talking about like January of next year. So I left to go to Cuba January 31st, I believe. Spent 9 months over there, and it was an absolute blast.
Wow.
Work or the type of deployment that it is called like a YS tasking.
Okay,
Um,
West. Okay. Okay.
yeah, they send you it's a what is it, worldwide individual augmentee system or something like that.
Mhm.
They pretty much pick one person from the unit, like from Forcecom or whatever, to go on these types of missions.
Right.
And luckily, I was selected, I guess.
Yeah, so it is great that you got selected. That like I mentioned, I did not know too many people that got selected for Cuba, and it was for me kind of unique in your career that
Yep.
you got selected to Cuba. And then what did you do in? It was in Guantanamo, right?
Yeah, it was in Guantanamo. I worked with the commission's liaisons office. Okay, can you get mommy to find it for you? Thank you. Yeah, go tap her. Say, can you please? Um, I went there and I was working with the commission's liaison office. So that's pretty much I was a liaison between what is it, like the prosecution team that were overseeing like the 9/11 cases. Um, I had my own individual role, and it was like a small team of like maybe 6 or 7 of us.
Okay.
Um, and then there were some more down the hill that were a part of us as well, like another 3 or 4. Um, yeah, we all had our individual roles.
Nice.
So
Nice. That's pretty awesome for me to hear that you had that great experience. Now I think I have a picture of Cuba at this point.
yeah, so that was me after the COVID mission popped off. They gave me a JSAM for that, overseeing like people that were coming over to the island, um, them just having to quarantine, making sure that they were getting like the supplies that they needed, the
Mhm.
food that they needed, and stuff like that. I was one of the NCOs that was helping out with that. So
That's pretty legit. And I think I have another picture here in Cuba as well with your team at this point. I'll show it to you. This one right there.
heck yeah. So it's a couple of people here that like I still talk to this day. Like I see Sergeant Major Shepard, huge influence on my career. I was thinking about getting out after I got back from Cuba.
Uh huh.
100% like good dude. He's out here in California right now as well. I see him or we've had the opportunity to link up a couple of times since I've been here. Um, yeah, he invited me to come do some fun stuff with his unit coming up this February. So I'm looking forward to that. I see Master Cook in the back. I see Colonel Teal. Super good dude. He was a not a colonel. I'm sorry. He's a captain. He probably, if he sees this, he's gonna kill me.
Okay.
Which is like a colonel equivalent in the Navy.
Okay.
Um, then I see Lieutenant Colonel Shepard in the middle in the back. Lieutenant Commander Golding, I believe that is, beside me, Turner. And then I see a couple other people there that like Small, Lawrence, Vasquez, and Alvarado.
Yeah,
So
in this photo, you be mentioned all the like a joint. It was like a joint assignment
yeah,
with branches, basically all the
yeah,
branches.
yeah. So we were working with the Air Force, Marines, National Guard. That's who I was like out of that picture, I was the only one that was active duty. Well, no, I'm lying. It was me and Massar and Romo, the one in the middle. He was active duty out of Colorado, I believe, at the time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But it was, I bet it was a great experience. Learn a
100.
lot. I spent another time in in another island, and we can see how the army is moving you throughout your career, right? From Alabama to Hawaii to Kuwait to you will be all over the place.
All over. Like stop even in Kuwait, like stopping in Germany before we got there. Coming back, we stopped at like Malaysia, Guam. Like, it's just taking me everywhere and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's pretty awesome. And then like coming back from Cuba went back to Campbell. I think I have another picture with your wife now. She's in uniform in this one. Talk about this photo.
Yeah, so I my daughter had just turned 1, but after I was it? So she turned 1, and then the following month I ended up deploying. This is me coming, or actually, she looks still kind of small there. So this might be. Let me see. This is right before she turned 1, I believe. So
Gotcha.
yeah. No, actually, she was walking here. So yeah, this was after I got back from Cuba.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yep.
The family reunion after coming back from Cuba with your
Right.
wife and the kid. But yeah, man. So Campbell it looks it was exciting for you in that moment. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of experiences going on.
And I was at Campbell for like 5, 6 years. I absolutely loved it there. Um, and it's crazy. It's crazy because in one of the pictures, one of the people that was my boss over there, he was like, "Oh, you're gonna like it. Like you're gonna like Campbell a lot." And he didn't disappoint. Like he didn't lie to me. So
Nice, nice. That's pretty awesome. I have more pictures here. Let me show you the next one. This one.
yep. So this was us going to on a um up to Chicago to set up a vaccination site for
Mm,
COVID.
okay.
Um, we had got awarded the coin from the 2-star at the time. So it's pretty cool.
So how was that experience? Like that was not even related to your job, right? It was a different job at all.
100% not related to my job at all. No, when COVID was like popping off, or when it was big at the time,
Uh-huh.
um, they started setting up all these vaccination sites around the world, and they needed people to fill positions for them. So um, my name was in the hat to go along and help out with that, help coordinate that. So
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I assume that you got an award for that as well for
yep,
helping the COVID situation.
yeah, came back with what was it? It was either the Joint Service Medal or the
The
Humanitarian Service.
I think humanitarian. I got a humanitarian too at the moment, so I'm pretty sure you got that too.
Yeah. So I got the Joint Service one in Cuba for
Okay.
helping out with COVID.
Okay, you got the joint service one. Cool.
I got
Gotcha.
a humanitarian over there. And
And then this is the ball still at Campbell still at this time, right?
yep, still at Campbell at that time. Had a little ball and yeah, a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
believe we had just got back. Um, yeah, a lot of great faces there. So I see a couple of Chiefs over there. Couple of LTs, and then I see Major Toomey in the
Mayor
little
Toomey,
board.
yeah. So
Yeah,
we know all about Mayor Toomey. Great leader. He was one of the greats.
100%.
Yeah.
Like the most down to, and I think that anybody that knows Major Toomey will be able to agree with that,
Mm-hmm.
saying how how good of how good of a leader he is.
Yep.
Um, he like really took care of me over there in the 101. So
Yep.
yeah, super good dude. He was in Hawaii with us.
Yep.
He was the one that told me that I was gonna like Campbell.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, Mayor Toomey is a great, great leader. Like I worked with him as a captain when I was a lieutenant, and then I met with him as a mayor. It was the XO for the BSB at the time.
yeah,
I was working in JRTC as an OC, and
yeah,
it was all about Mayor Toomey. Great dude. If he listened this, like, yeah, thank you, sir, for your knowledge and for helping us out like throughout the career.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and
So
then I think last photo that I have to show you, and then before we start wrapping up, is gonna be still in Campbell, I believe. Let me see. It's gonna be this one.
okay, yeah, that was just when the general there had implemented the everyone's going out to the field. I forgot what the mission was, but it was one of the missions where like all of the units there went out to the field for 3 weeks, and it was a good time with the guys. Like we did a lot of training. Um, yeah, we're loading up my boy Anaya onto a Black Hawk. He's a casualty,
Mm,
or acting like he's in the
acting.
role of a casualty. And they're flying him to where their medical team was set up.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty
yeah,
awesome, man. And then it's great to hear all the good experiences like throughout your career since the beginning. Like you wanted to be an infantry dude, and now you're like a full IT. Now, so for Campbell, you got DA selected to be in Cali right now in California. So
yep.
so how was that transition? I think that's your last transition, and what are you doing right now? This is up to now, up currently.
Yeah, so up until now I've been a recruiter. I've been in the slot of a recruiter. Um it's been a lot of fun. It's been eye-opening. A lot of kids that come in from like unfortunate situations, or even some of those that aren't in those unfortunate situations,
Hmm.
that are just looking to serve or looking to get away from whatever it is, you know. Coming to the army, coming to like the different branches that are beside us. And I see that every day. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah,
So
so I think you mentioned that it's an eye opener just because you can see from another perspective, what the people are trying to get into the army, like their situations, unique situations. There's some multiple situations, and then you can actually talk to them, connect with them, and say like, "Hey, I want to help you through this process, and we have to help you to frame whatever your needs are at this point."
Heck yeah, that's all it's about is helping them achieve their goals.
Mhm.
So like I'll sit down with them, I'll walk them through like, yo, where do you want to be at? Where do you want to see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, you know? Are you doing this strictly for college? Are you doing it to
Okay.
make it a career? You know what I'm saying? What do you want? What do you want from the army at the end of the day? And a lot of the times you hear like, I want stability. I want to be able to provide for my family, whatever it is, mom, dad, whoever it may be at the time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, try to help with that.
Yeah, it's a great that we have people, leaders like you, on the spectrum. We appreciate from the other end that you're trying to do the best to actually get our recruiters, people that trying to get in the army, because like one thing that we would do this podcast is mainly for person or for people that trying to look more information and hey, what's the army look like, because like we've seen that some people don't have any idea that how this might look like, and then with your experiences, your own experiences, you can transmit that to other people.
Yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, if you do decide to do this, like live it by how you want to live it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your own experience. I would most definitely say don't let anyone like if this is something that you think you want to try out, like the benefits, they're there. Even if you have to do some digging to find out like what certain benefits are, like what can help you progress. Um, it's always some type of benefit there that like you're like, "Oh, the army has this? That's crazy. I didn't know about that."
Yep,
So, yeah.
exactly. And that's lead me to my next question. You just like advising the people that doesn't know anything about the army, but any advice to the actual soldiers, mostly to the lower enlisted soldiers that are out there in the army, about their career right now?
Yeah, use your GI Bill, after you get out. Use the tuition assistance that's provided for you while you're in as well. That's 4K or 4K a year. I mean, use it. Like it's free money. You don't want it to go down the drain. Let's say you get out, you have the veterans readiness and employment that you can use in lieu of the GI Bill. It's a lot of stuff, you know. Um, yeah, and contribute to your TSP as well. You wanna, yes, baby. You wanna contribute at least 10 to 15% of your paycheck
Yeah,
to TSP to set yourself up.
yeah.
You know,
Investing
that's
for their future, right? So that's something that we don't understand sometimes. So like, hey, I'm young. I don't see myself being a 50 years old anytime soon. But
yeah,
it's a huge advice to start investing in your own financial stability, right?
one
And
hundred percent.
yep,
Like, yeah, invest in your TSP. Use the use the tuition assistance and use that GI Bill and the VR or the veterans readiness and employment. Use that as well. So,
yeah. So there's many tools that the army provides. Being a veteran is a great for those that listening right now. And again, now we are closing out. Any other closing comments that you want to share with us before we just like, and appreciate it for the time, and I know, and open the doors to your house for us right now to share your experience.
of course. No, I got nothing else. It can propel you in life, you know, the benefits. So take a look into that stuff. So, of
Hey, share your phone number if they want to reach you, and what type of what area you work right now.
course, I'm in Moreno Valley, California. You can reach me at 951 uh 396 6171. If you have any questions, you know, I don't mind answering questions. I can help you get plugged into a recruiter in your area if you want to work with a recruiter in your area. I can help you out as well. Even if you want to go to like a different branch, I can help you get plugged in with the recruiter in that area if they're not, reaching out to you. I know the Air Force is sometimes hard to call, so
Yeah. Yeah, for those that are looking this podcast, first of all, thank you for watching. You have the phone number on the screen. Staff Sergeant Nance, he works in California. But if you're not in California, you're somewhere in the United States and you wanna know who your recruiter is, you can actually reach out to him and he can point you to where or which one is your recruiter. If you're looking for the army or anything, for me, you can find me. That's my Instagram. I know it's in Spanish, but like we're transitioning now to bring more content in English. That's what we're doing. Again, San Nance, appreciate it, man. Like it's a great pleasure to talk to you, man. Like after all these years, that we just met in Hawaii, and now it is amazing how to hear your story in this end.
yeah, yeah, it's been what 9 years now. So
Yeah, almost.
thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah,
I
yeah, and again, appreciate it. I'm gonna close out. Hey guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, subscribe. You can find this episode in YouTube. You can find this episode in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the platforms that you can actually find us. Now, the name is Nuestra Gente en las Fuerzas Armadas. Translate to our people in the armed forces. Thank you for everyone for watching. Wait for more content like this. If you like it, again, press that like button and don't forget to follow. Let's go, mi gente. Vamos allá.